The title is right. Middle Eastern guys are crazy.
Okay, I know what it feels like to be young and single.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new, just know that I'm Ali and I talk about love, dating, and all that good stuff to do with my life. And I have a blog, Present My Problems. So log on, get familiar, and like I said, subscribe, ding the bell, and share. Today we're talking about my experience with Middle Eastern men, because I am someone that likes to swirl a little bit. I have most definitely done some interracial dating, which you will learn more about on my channel, but today I'm going to feature my experience with Middle Eastern guys. As the title says, Middle Eastern guys are crazy. Crazy, gorgeous, crazy to and crazy generous. So it's not a bad crazy if it's channeled to a good place, but that's been my experience. So who would I like to find as Middle Eastern? I've dated Persian, Lebanese, where was he from? Was he Iraqi? I don't remember. But I've dated dudes from that end of the world. The commonality between them all is they were very direct with how they wanted to pursue me. I met them in different ways, not online or anything, actually in person, like walking on the street or like at an event or like at a club. Somebody I actually dated for 2+ years is Middle Eastern, and I think I can give you a fair opinion of what it's like being a black woman dating Middle Eastern men, in case some of you girls are willing or open to dating them. Culturally, they're very family oriented, so you have to be prepared for that. It's actually overwhelming. Like, you have to be prepared for their moms to talk shit about you in their language, whether they know you or not. And it's just the way it is. Like, I had this experience. If you're really a girl that they rate, you're going to be mentioned to their mom. Otherwise, if they don't rate you, you're not meeting their mom ever, because they're not trying to bring anybody that's not a contender for wifey around their mama necessarily. Their mom's just going to track their numbers, call them crazy shit, call you crazy shit. It's just not a good look. So when I have engaged with meeting someone's parents that are Middle Eastern, it was like a cool experience. They were really welcoming and nice, and I didn't feel any ways. I didn't feel overwhelmed or anything like that, but it was most definitely intimidating, and it says a lot about how they value you, because wow, make a wish. As far as the protective thing, Middle Eastern guys are extremely protective. I remember, and this is when I was just dating him, like we weren't even like together like that. This is when he was courting me. This really nice gentleman that is not a pick-me. For those of you who aren't West Indian, just note that pick-me means child. So he was grown, and we were out and about on a date, and this guy tried to talk to me, just like casually. He'd be like, oh, like, you know, like,
oh, bubble tea, what do you recommend?
And he like kind of like just shifted himself right in front of the guy, and he goes,
nothing.
He like totally like said like, don't talk to me type of deal. And I was like, whoa, like that's real. So little nuances like that you'll come across with Middle Eastern dudes. They're hella protective. They don't like to share. They're very selfish when they're in love or they're in lust with a woman that they're gonna invest their time into, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. In terms of crazy good looking, yo, I rate how Middle Eastern dudes are able to grow a beard within like 3 hours. It's amazing. They got the lineup ready all the time. They're in the barber shop more than black dudes. So I'm familiar with their life. Like, they're the only like segment of dudes that actually have beards at 3 years old. It's amazing. I love it. But this is one thing I don't like about how they look. It's not fair that they have long ass lashes. I'm here struggling with my lash line, and these bitches have it naturally.
They don't even put on any mascara, looking like Michael Jackson circa 1984.
With his like lash extensions and shit. That's one thing that's unfair about these Middle Eastern dudes. They got prettier eyes than you. So be prepared to have your lash game in check, because theirs is naturally in check. Okay, and another thing that I noted about Middle Eastern dudes when you date them, they're extremely generous. Like, it's almost shameful if they're not. It's like they're conditioned to think if they're not being generous with you, they're not manning up. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. And what I mean by generous, when you go on a date, they cover everything. If you try to do that, they're looking at you like,
Bitch, really? Like, what? Huh? No.
So, and whenever they come to your house, and if they're like coming over or whatever, even if it's just you guys chilling, there's always something in tow. They're very, very mindful of manners and not making you feel like you're not desired or the lady of the moment. So I think it's cool to date outside of your, like, you know, I think it's cool to explore dating other people, and the ways in which that I met Middle Eastern dudes was random. Like, it wasn't like I was at a shisha bar. I was just walking down the street. I was doing my thing, and I should mention this. Middle Eastern men like curvy women. So it's just cultural. You know, you're gonna eat a lot of rice, you're gonna eat a lot of kebab, you're gonna gain some curves whether you like it or not when you're with a Middle Eastern dude. And to speak to that, but it's funny, like if you've ever been very close friends with Middle Eastern women, like me, some of my dearest friends are Middle Eastern, and they tell me to avoid Middle Eastern dudes like the plague. They say that they're very emotional and very protective, and it's something to be afraid of, but I feel like it's cultural and it depends on who you come across and if they were born here or not. Yo, you just gotta be ready for it, but to be honest, can we talk a little bit? I like crazy motherfuckers. It makes the sex better. Okay, so we're gonna go into that portion of things. Being intimate with a Middle Eastern dude, things you should know. They have zero fucks to give. They're in it to win it. They want to be very much there to help you get to where you need to go. If you hear what I'm saying. They're very passionate, romantic dudes. They don't hold back in that respect. But then the funny thing is, in life, when they're walking around, taking you to restaurants and courting and all that stuff, they seem really reserved. But yo, as soon as you're in that private space, and especially if you're like their wifey, their girl, you're getting in on another level. But just for notation, Middle Eastern dudes can handle black women. And I think, you know, when you're a black woman dating Middle Eastern dudes, at least from my experience, it's so different from anybody else dating them. It's just in how you carry yourself and how, you know, worldly their family is. And it comes down to the family. If it's serious and their family's gonna meet you and stuff, you have to know that it's a big deal for them. Whether they're Muslim, Baha'i, or even if they're Orthodox Christian, like there's multi-faith things to consider. Like their difference in religion will dictate how serious it is for their family. And I dated a dude that is actually Christian, and I dated a dude that's Baha'i. I dated a dude that's Muslim. He was Sunni, and I didn't feel the way some of other girls have expressed on YouTube, the way that they feel about those relationships. It was pretty easy, but I knew what it was. Like there was a time when I felt like, okay, he's not going to take me seriously because he's Muslim and his family's really tight and they have a certain perception of what they want in terms of daughter-in-law, and he was very close to his family, so that was a deal breaker. But then I met another Muslim guy and a Baha'i guy and a Christian dude. That was not a deal breaker. He doesn't care what his family thinks, even though they're as like close. And I met their family. It didn't work out for other reasons, but it wasn't a huge thing. So don't have it in your brain that their families are so stringent and so tight that you can't like you can't infiltrate. You can if they like you. There's exceptions even then. Just keep note when you're approached by a Middle Eastern guy that they're gonna be rather direct but soft with it, and they're very respectful, but they're very direct. They tell you what it is when they're trying to come for you. When they wanna have you in their space like that, they're gonna let you know that they're attracted to you. Maybe not off the jump, like in the first 5 minutes, but once the numbers exchange, they're letting you know that I like you this way, and they're trying to stake it in if they're trying to hold you down. You're hella jealous, so don't try to stroke that cat unless you really want to have great sex, because that's the only way to get over that bump. It can get messy. I've had instances where like my homies, when I was dating one guy in particular, and this person's like a platonic friend. He's like, who's that texting you at 7 o'clock in the morning? I said, my friend. He goes, why? What does he want from you? Does he not know that you have a man? Does he not know who I am? And I was like, whoa, slow your roll. Like, we have like planned today. Like, we're gonna go to work together. He's my friend. And it became a whole thing. So they're just really emotional, like some of my Middle Eastern girls have mentioned. So be mindful of that. And I noticed there's a commonality between a lot of them, but they're beautiful, gorgeous, nice, chivalrous, sweet men that are very family oriented. And when they dig you, they are into you like you wouldn't even believe. So I'm grateful to have had that experience, and I look forward to other ones. Not that I'm a thought, but just saying. So anybody that is a little bit timid to date a Middle Eastern dude, just take note of what I said. Hopefully this helped you so you know what to do. And for those of you that have, share your experience in the comments. I'd love to learn about some of the things you guys have went through with your Middle Eastern experience with their families, because I haven't had a bad experience other than like Well, there's one. So don't forget to subscribe, ding the bell to stay up to date with everything, and don't forget to comment, because really and truly I want to know about your experience with Middle Eastern dudes. Mine's been positive, kind of, sorta, like in comparison to all my dating life. Like, it's no different. Every guy is every guy, but it's been a positive experience. So let me know what yours are. Thanks, and see you guys later. You hiccup. Oh my god, they sound so cute. They sound like queefs. Like.